In the world of mega yachts, creating something genuinely different and new that's never been done before is an enormous challenge, but the yacht we're on today is truly special. This is the 75-metre Admiral Kenshō, and she's less super yacht, more floating revolution, from her metallic hue to that unmistakable profile and the sheer devotion to blurring the interior with the outside world. Her owner toured some of the world's greatest yachts before sketching his dream on paper and creating something genuinely unprecedented. Today I'm going to give you a full tour of one of the most highly awarded, most unconventional super yachts ever launched. Let's get going. I'm Jack Haynes, you're watching YachtBuyer. Where do we start? Maybe her name. In Japanese, Kenshō means seeing one's true nature, a clever hint at the yacht's ability to connect guests to the outside world, even from the depths of the interior. And at 1,989 gross tons, there is plenty of interior to enjoy. Incidentally, the spectacular hull colour is based on a 1960s Ford Mustang, now dubbed Kenshō Metallic. She's a whisker under 75 metres long, with a beam of 12.8 metres and a draft with her azimuth pod drives of 3.4 metres. More on those later. Her accommodation comprises 8 staterooms split across the main and lower decks, including a spectacular 4-room owner's suite, and there's space to house 21 crew to look after up to 16 guests. Kenshō is currently on the market with Christie Yachts for just under €125 million, and if you want more information, follow the link in the video description. Right, let's wait no longer. Time to step on board. If you want to see more content like this on extraordinary yachts like Kenshō, subscribe now, hit the bell icon, and you'll never miss one of our uploads. And stick around, because this is one of the most amazing tours that we've ever done, I can assure you. And when we started this tour, I did a tour with the broker first. They took me straight up here, starting the sun deck, and it really delivers that wow moment. It sets the tone for the design that we see throughout Kenshō. Just look, at the deck head heights, absolutely staggering, and also the detail in this ceiling. It's designed to mimic the shell of an oyster, and you've got these wooden slats as well, so you haven't just got a solid roof above you. Depending on where the sun is, you can tilt those to get some shade down here as well. There's a really lovely comfortable seating area back there, but we need to get to the bar, don't we? Look at the size of this bar. I think I've tested boats that are smaller than this bar, and one of the crew on board is a DJ, and they've got a really great setup here. This sound system is the sort of thing that they're using in the clubs in Ibiza, so you really can party properly up here. You can see how well stocked the bar is, and I really like this green marble they've got on the bar tops. And you see even the bars, the furniture, the curvature is everywhere, evident on the outside of the yacht and evident throughout the interior too. It is just a feast of curves. Over on this side, you have a dining area, and you'll notice as well how these decks link. We'll see this throughout. You can see fore to aft pretty much on every deck, and you don't have furniture sort of sitting in the middle of spaces. See how this is nicely edged up to side here? It just makes it a bit more cozy actually in what is quite a big space. Nice lounging area there, but then this lovely central thoroughfare that draws you to the forward end of this deck, where we have access down. We're going to do top to bottom. There's a day head here. Now the day heads are all done differently. The owner commissioned a French artist to do them all and just said, you know what, you do what you like. So they're all slightly different, and we'll see those as we run through the boat. My goodness, those doors are absolutely enormous. Let's carry on forward. The forward end of the sun deck, you would expect to see a hot tub on a sun deck, and this is a very Kenshō hot tub. Even this mimics the exterior of the yacht. Infinity as well, so you can slouch down and still see through the glass, because for me that view forward, which you pick up a lot on this yacht, is just fabulous. You see how this seating area here drinks in those views. The TV can be taken away if you don't want it there. You've got some shade from the parasols overhead, but that view down that totally clean deck with the teak running forward and this amazing ice blue hull colour, it is really, really special. And that, incidentally, is also a touch and go helipad. Let's drop downstairs. I suppose traditionally you'd refer to this as the upper deck, but on board they refer to this more as an observation deck, which will become more clear when we head forward. Back here, it's another really lovely outdoor living space, more comfortable sofas and armchairs, drinking those views aft. And then you have an exterior dining space here, Now this table is adjustable, so you can make it bigger or smaller. You don't want to serve a big party out here, it opens up, but then day to day, you don't want a big table in the way. It closes down to a much more manageable size. Again, take note of the ceilings, and the ceilings that aren't just high, beautifully finished as well. Wood here, it's kind of layered with the backlighting, works really nicely. Stepping inside, and in here we find a smaller lounge area. Sofas, big floor to ceiling windows, so the views are still great. There's a TV here as well. It's like a more intimate, cozy place for guests to come and watch television. And then we come through to this foyer area where there's another day head. This one's sporting a bit of a Yellowstone theme. And then forward of that, staircase linking the decks, but also the elevator, and that does also link all decks. Not always the case. Often they don't quite go to the top of the yacht. This does go all the way up to the sun deck and right down to the lower deck as well. And then this is where we get to the observation bit. Now, ordinarily on a yacht like this, you might expect to see an owner's cabin or even the bridge here. But this is the observation lounge, because this is where you get, fantastic views. The owner thought, well, I don't want to have an area here where you're only in here fleetingly. I want to be able to sit and enjoy this space. And that's why they've created this area as they have. And it's lovely, amazing in the day, so you can see, because you have 270-degree views, sliding doors on both sides, so you can get some ventilation through here and just see the tip of that amazing bow from in here as well. But then at night, the crew can move these sofas together. There's a screen that drops down centrally there and a projector, so you can turn this into a cinema. And there's more than that as well, because in the corners you've got a little games table, you've got some nice comfortable armchairs here by the library. So it's a really lovely, relaxing space to come in the day and in the evening. Really quite special. Let's drop downstairs and carry on. Let's just take a beat to show you where we are on the yacht, because it's got quite an unconventional layout. So we're now on the main deck. You have the main deck cockpit right aft, internal dining space. There are 2 guest cabins on this level, a day head, and then right forward is where we find the owner's quarters. The owner's view is that if you're spending this amount of money on a yacht, you don't want your own cabin to feel in any way compromised or cramped. And well, this cabin is the antithesis of that. Again, those deck head heights really come into play, 2.7 meters throughout. It's very grand. There's a sense of occasion when you walk into this cabin, but it's also incredibly quiet and opulent, of course. You have this lovely living area as part of it. You've got these sofas, you've got the benches down on this side, big TV over there. And then through sliding doors, you can partition all of these areas off, but you can open them up to make basically a penthouse. You have the bed, and another key feature in the design is that connection with the water. Wherever you are on the boat, you want to be able to see the ocean, and well, they've achieved that here with these incredible windows. You have them on both sides, in the bathroom over there as well, bring in loads of natural light. But when you're in an anchorage, you can have amazing views out over the water. And again, the owner said there is luxury in the space between the end of the bed and the bulkhead. Just space to move around in. It really does make it feel like so much more than a cabin. It does have a true apartment feel. Come and look at the bathroom, because it's absolutely exquisite. The focal point, this remarkable bath that's been carved out of a single block of marble. It is absolutely stunning, almost soft to the touch. Remarkable craftsmanship in this one area alone, and there's more marble in the bathroom over there. We have the shower compartment, sinks over on this side, and again, even when you're in the bathroom, you have that wonderful connection to the water. It works so nicely in this area, maintaining those enormous head heights as well, and some beautiful detailing in the ceiling. It's really very, very special. But there's some close detailing to notice as well. Things like the bath jump out at you the moment you walk into this cabin, but this is all handcrafted. This tapestry inside the dressing room here, all the way around. It's beautiful. And again, even here, look at this desk, look at the view you have when you're sitting at the bureau at water level. It's wonderful. And it's easy to see this stuff. This is obviously very, very beautiful. But even when you're walking through the communal passageways, the quality and the attention to even the stitching on those walls really jumps out at you. It's mega. Let's carry on aft. Before we get there though, 2 of the guest cabins are on this level. So let's have a look at those, starting with the double. And actually, much like the owner's cabin, but clearly on a slightly smaller scale, the ceiling heights again play a real part in the wow factor when you walk into these guest cabins, and the detail too. Again, we have this lovely design work behind the bed that's really nicely uplit from behind the bed head, pair of bedside tables in this double formation because it is quite flexible. I'll explain about that in a moment. And then the way that the bathroom opens up to this cabin, there is a refusal on this boat to put in needless blockades and make things feel cramped. So there is a door here, there's two doors, they slide to partition this off if you want to, but why not have it all fully open? And you wouldn't even know, these are the doors, you wouldn't even know they were there when they're open like this. The sinks are open to the cabin, then you've got separate shower and toilet cubicles. It just works really, really well. But these two cabins are very clever. I'll explain why when we head next door. Clever because they have exactly the same footprint, but they can both be set up as either a double or like this as twins. Now, this is not something you push a button and it happens. The crew have to physically move the bedside tables and move the beds, but it gives you so many options. When it comes to the flexibility of these cabins, it works really nicely. And if anything, it feels quite luxurious set up like this because you have so much more floor space with the beds apart like this, and they're still decent sized single beds. And of course, just like over there, you have exactly the same arrangement with the bathroom. We've got the wardrobes hidden up here, and you can see the doors are just ajar here to perfectly show you these would slide and close, but then completely open when you push these aside. And the same separate shower and toilet cubicle. Works brilliantly. Let's carry on aft. They didn't actually want the internal dining space to gobble up loads of room on this deck, so it runs across like this rather than maybe running forward like you'd see traditionally, but it's still a really big space. I mean, look at these two separate tables, but they can be joined to be made into one enormous table, and they're beautifully done as well. The marble inset, the lighting, and again, it's the ceilings. You can't help but, they catch your eye. The lighting work above these tables is absolutely glorious. You can see the cases running around as well. It's a really impressive space, and again, big windows. Keep saying it, but you've got that connection to the outside pretty much wherever you are. And again, you can see right through forward. Yes, that's the owner's quarters, but you can see you've got that glass panel, so your eye is catching that rather than a solid piece of wood when the door's open. So it all just fits together so beautifully. Let's head outside. And here we arrive at main deck aft. And this is an important space because when you come up Passerelle, this is where you're going to land. This is your first taste of Kenshō, and you're met immediately by those organic shapes, the ceiling heights. Again, beautiful finishing in the ceiling. They're tall, but the detail is beautiful. And so it segues into teak up here, and the teak sort of disappears upwards, and you have the same effect on the transom as well. It's a lovely, soft lounging space. All these curves, these lovely shapes that we see throughout the yacht really do set the tone when you first come on board. Staircase up to the deck above. There's a really nice little table tucked over there in the corner that should be really well protected. But this is what I mean. See how the teak runs up the transom and then drops down again? And then the passerelle that connects you up here onto this deck. Downstairs we have more guest cabins and finally the beach club. Let's go down there. Oh, it's a long way down, but we're finally on the lower deck. And what we have down here are 3 more guest cabins, 2 staff cabins on top of the crew cabins. There's a gym on this level as well. And this area really exemplifies 2 things on board this yacht. One is the connection to the outside. Bear in mind, we're right on the lower deck, but I look aft and I can see the pool. I can see outside from down here. And the other thing is a total resistance to straight lines. Can you see how the walls and the carpet down here are ever so slightly wavy? As you look down there, you can just see there's a nice soft curve all the way down. Absolutely love that attention to detail. Let's start with one of the guest cabins, possibly the sweetest cabin I've ever been inside, because they've set this one up to show what it's going to be like as a nursery. That's lovely. I feel that if I let my daughter in here, she'd probably never want to leave. But of course, you can have this as just a standard guest cabin. Shows you some of the flexibility. And like the guest cabins upstairs, you've got a similar layout in that this bathroom can be completely open to the cabin, but closed with these hidden doors. Heading forward, down our wavy passageway, we find another guest cabin. This time it's a double. They're really good size as well. And this is a very good demonstration of the drop-down TVs. You have these in all the cabins, but they've got this one down so you can see how nice that is when it drops out of the ceiling like that. It's in a great position just above the bed, and then you never know it's there when it closes up again. Windows aren't quite as big, of course. We're lower down in the yacht, but you still have a decent sized hull window in here, and it's exactly the same. You have this nice open plan bathroom arrangement with the cupboards in here. So really good storage in these spaces as well. Let's carry on. That's one of the staff cabins. We'll come back to that because that's actually how you get to the crew space. But I just want to show you the final guest cabin down here. This is quite a nice cabin, isn't it? You can come out your cabin, you walk through that door and you're straight to the pool. We'll see that in a moment. Again, these are very flexible. This one's set up as a double. And there are some slight differences down here in that the bed head runs a little bit further around in these cabins. It was just picking up behind the bed head above, but that detail comes all the way around here. It's lovely. Not quite as high ceiling, still 2.3 meters, so pretty substantial head heights, but not quite as towering as above. We've seen that before. The bathroom, very similar to the other cabins we've seen. Opposite, again, this is sort of the wellness cabin because you're opposite the gym and you're right by the pool. But yeah, nice size workout space too. Got your machines, got some nice big windows down here as well. There are TVs set into the mirror over there so you can watch the telly while you're working out. And then of course, this is a really remarkable feature. We come to the final day head down here on the ground floor, and then we are out to the beach club. But it's not the beach club in a traditional sense where you have the shell door and everything feels very enclosed. Look how open this is, and also how low slung it is too. Now you've got that lovely sliding door that allows very easy access when the boat is stationary, but they have to have a solid door as well. So that actually swings down from the ceiling, watertight door that bolts across there to protect it when the boat's at sea. But then what's amazing is you'd have absolutely no idea that was there when it's up like that, and it's just very easy to pass through that electric door. Now we've got to talk about the pool. This is a thing of beauty as well. Again, it looks like a little mini version of the yacht with the shapes and obviously the colour. That is a nice thread running throughout this entire space. Lovely pool as well, and that actually drops down into a tank so you can empty it nice and quickly. But the really important thing is that you are still so in touch with the water. Of course, we've talked about that connection inside the boat, just as important outside the boat. And again, I like how the seating is fringed around the pool here. It looks like a space that you'll really genuinely use. And the way the teak runs up, we saw that from the deck above, but I really like the way the teak sort of runs up and up and up and draws you up towards the top of the boat. Fabulous space. Right, the last space to look at then will be the technical spaces and the crew area. Let's go. Before we get to the crew space, I mentioned those staff cabins earlier. Well, this is where they are. They're basically finished just like the rest of the guest accommodation. This one's actually set up as a massage suite at the moment. And because of the design of the yacht, whereby they've banished side decks lower down, they had to find a way for the crew to be able to get to their accommodation internally. So that door there links to a staircase externally to the deck above, and they walk down this passageway, which connects to their quarters. Well, Kenshō runs the 21 crew, and we've timed this, well, you decide, rather well or maybe not, because they're just serving crew tea. So we'll just pop our heads into the galley. See, they're prepping the burgers. 2 chefs working away in here. We don't want it to get cold, so we'll be quick. And this is the crew mess. God, that looks and smells delicious, I can assure you. So yeah, this is where the crew hang out, where they eat, when they relax, when they're off shift. All of their cabins run down that passageway there. We can't go into the cabins, I'm afraid, but you can see the living spaces down here. And trust me, the food smells delicious. And this is only the crew food. Okay, that's the crew space. Before we go to the engine room, let's go and check out the bridge. Internally, you can only get to the bridge from the crew space, and she's unconventional in other ways as well, mainly the drive system. I mean, the bridge itself is pretty formulaic, the sort of screens and tech you'd expect to see on a yacht of this size. The main difference is that view over the foredeck is, well, that's 1 in a million. No, it's her drive system. She uses a pod system, a bit like IPS. I'll explain a little bit more when we go down into the engine room, but the upshot is she has a combined 3,800 horsepower for a top speed around 16 knots. But at 12 knots, so a relatively high cruising speed, she's doing 4,300 nautical miles. But it's probably easier to talk about how her quite unique drive system works when we go downstairs into the engine room. The other thing I want to show you is how you control this thing. Very manoeuvrable according to the captain, but you're not going to do that from in here. But luckily, you have these pop-out wing stations on both sides. So when it comes to berthing, you push these out, and then, I mean, what a view you have down the side of the yacht. It's absolutely remarkable. Full control here of both pods, thrusters, comms as well. Of course, the crew are going to be talking the yacht into a berth, but in terms of the view, it's absolutely spectacular. Now, the other quirk is the way to get to the tender garage is actually via a staircase in this area. After that, we'll head down to the engine room. It's always fun to get inside the toy chest on a yacht like this, and Kenshō's got some pretty nice toys. She has a totally custom chase boat as well, but 2 of the tenders physically live on board. We have this custom ribeye, which is jet driven, great for water sports and getting it into the shallows. And over on this side, we have little mini Kenshō. This, again, totally custom limousine tender. You can see this roof here drops completely flat to enable it to get into this garage. There are shell doors on both sides. See these cranes here, so these extend and drop both of these in and out of the water. Loads of water sports kit forward, all the inflatables that they can set up at the back of the yacht when she's anchored, that's all under here.
Bit of a workshop here as well, because of course these little tenders need maintenance. The engineers look after these, not just the main yacht. And then right forward, we get to two of the biggest anchor winches I've ever seen in my life. Nearly as tall as me. That is some serious equipment. The cleats as well. And then you have platforms on both sides, so the crew can get out and keep an eye on the anchor. I saw a clip of her coming to the show, and a couple of the crew were out here on this platform. That's a pretty cool way to travel. Right, let's head to the engine room. Before you get to the engine room itself, you have the ECR, the engineer's control room. Two engineers on board. They can sit in their office with no natural light, obviously, but they're just sitting there making sure all the systems are okay. And obviously on a yacht like this, there are lots of systems to manage, and it has this hybrid diesel electric system. So you don't actually have main engines. We've got no shaft line because it uses pods, 5 variable speed generators that can be run in any sequence depending on what the boat's doing when it comes to propulsion or domestic supply. You can see one of the pods there. Of course, there's another one on the other side, and you have a traditional bow thruster as well. But think of this like Volvo Penta IPS pod drives, apart from the difference is IPS turns like that. These can spin all the way around, making Kenshō extremely manoeuvrable. It's a 75-metre yacht. And there are other benefits as well. If you want to move along quietly, say in the morning when guests are sleeping, you can move this thing running just one generator rather than firing up a pair of big main engines. And also the pods are right back in the boat as well. So really, really clever system. What Kenshō demonstrates is what's feasible in the world of super yachts. You can start with a concept that came from a sketch on a piece of paper, a glimmer of an idea that develops into something that is truly game-changing. This is genuinely unique. Look at all these yachts we're surrounded by. There's only one yacht that people want to be on board at this show. This is what a future icon looks like. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this magnificent yacht. Thanks very much for watching that tour. I really hope you enjoyed it. We love filming it for you. Please give us a like if you did, and do subscribe. It's pretty hard to get on board these yachts, but the more subscribers we have, the more likely we are to get on board. So please do that. The funny thing about this as well is the same company who produced this also produced the Lamborghini yacht, which we've got a sea trial of. I'll put that up there. Thanks again for watching. I'm Jack Haynes. You're watching YachtBuyer.